Hello and welcome to this Acoustronic podcast, episode 2. And with me today, I'm going to be introducing John Lynch. He's a member from the Acoustronic Ensemble. It's kind of how I best know him, but we're going to get to know more about him and his musical background and his musical influences throughout this interview. So, yeah. Hi, John. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, Ryan. How's you?
I'm good. Hey, it's good to see you. And yeah, good to see nice cuddly monkey there behind you.
Oh, yeah, it's him. Yep.
Yeah,
He's going
he's
bananas.
he's called Bananas.
Yes.
Very appropriate name. So John, as I was saying there, we're kind of doing this interview to kind of get to know the musicians within Acoustronic, and then later down the line we're doing another interview podcast with John and potentially maybe everyone at the same time, and kind of get to know all your roles and everything that you've done in Acoustronic more specifically. So, if you want to mention one or two things, that's fine. But this is kind of let's get to know you, John.
Yep.
Um, so just on that note, can you kind of give us a bit of background to yourself? Kind of what's your hobbies, favorite pastimes, what you like to do, maybe even what you don't like to do.
Yeah. Well, my name is John Lynch. I'm actually from Greysteel in County Derry.
Great county,
Yes.
yes, big time. Uh, you should say that Acoustronic is based in Derry, and
Yes.
yeah, it's a fantastic city for music and music culture. There's so many different things going on. It's fantastic. But so what, like, do you have any hobbies at all, John, that you like to do? Is there anything that you like to do in your pastime, or is there work that you do?
Well, my favorite hobbies were like swimming, football, and also I love to draw cartoons.
No,
And yep,
that's cool.
inspiration was The Simpsons and other various cartoon shows I grew up in the 90s.
Cool. Well, I'm definitely going to be asking you to draw maybe a sketch or two for the podcast, and we can throw them in. I think that'd be
Oh,
pretty
sure,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So I know that you attend and you kind of help is it workshops, I think, at Men's Shed?
Yes, at the present, I'm working in the men's shed in Ballykelly.
Cool. So I mean, I I know the gist of what Men's Shed is, but can you tell us a bit about it, maybe?
Yes, the men's shed is like involved with the community and people with mental disorder with men's like over the age of 50, and then there's still we're hiring like young ones to come to the men's shed and been living independent.
Ah, okay. So it's kind of like a place where, let's say, somebody who's living by themselves, who's a bit isolated, can kind of meet up and kind of chat and just kind of get out of the house for a bit.
Yes, exactly. And then there's lots of things to do in the men's shed, like there's woodwork, gardening, and then there's art and design, like we do like ceramics sometimes.
Oh, cool. Didn't know that side of it. I just knew small bits of detail about it, like it was it's a fantastic organization that kind of helps an abundance of people. So that's really
Yes.
cool. So I suppose we're jump into kind of music questions now. I suppose, John.
Yes.
So how did you start making music? Like when did you get involved?
I think it was starting when I was in school or something like that. And then after the primary school, I was starting into the secondary college in Belmont House School, which was called Troy College back then.
Ah, cool.
And yep. And then my dad, Joe, he was in the pipe band and still was at the time. And then I always loved listening to pipe musics, like the Scottish pipe bands or so.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So would your first instrument then uh be one of the pipe band flutes? No?
Well, I tried it, but then the bagpipe was a bit too loud for me at the time. But then
Ah.
the tenor drum was actually more interesting in my life because even though I can just swing the tenor sticks and do the beats of it, so
Oh, that's cool. So, um, so you were obviously kind of always brought up with music then, by the sounds of things.
yes, definitely various musics I love.
At which at which stage did you start to think of making music with technology? Do you remember when that might have happened?
Kind of was into like I was interested in with 90s music, like when techno was popular at the time, and
Mm.
then the likes of Scooter, Eiffel 65, U2, and all those various bands I love, and then all these musics that they've done. It's just there's something like I would love to do in the
Ah.
future.
You obviously, were kind of listening to these guys and thought, right, that's it, that's what I have to do.
Yes.
Very, very nice. That's cool. I kind of have a set couple of questions, but
Yeah, sure.
I'm also very aware that we can just kind of just chat. It doesn't need to be question after question after question. But
Yeah, sure, not at
um,
all.
I mean, I'll ask them anyway, and we can just batter on through them. Um, so I mean, you've touched on it already, like, but can you tell us a bit about your musical background? Like, can you say I started this, and then I've ended up doing something else, something else? Can you give us kind of almost like a time frame of what it is you've done?
Well, I've done like various music sessions when I was in with schools and college and tech.
Cool. So, what kind of instruments were you playing at that point?
Well, I was doing the jam bass
Ah,
and yeah, and I was doing the like with the maracas and the tambourine.
so you good rhythm, good percussion, man.
Yes, that's the one
Yeah.
because I always loved the rhythm because when you're doing the beats or someone like
Ah, yeah.
someone like that there and because I never. That's a talent I have. Like it's the rhythm and listen to what the other instruments.
Oh, big,
So
big time. It's I mean, you've been doing it now for years since I've known you about how music is one big conversation that's happening. So
yeah,
you gotta be willing to listen to a few other things.
yes, because you have to have listening skills to, and then the next thing you know, when they stop doing playing, then it's my cue to do it.
Cool.
So
So after that kind of rhythm section, well, actually, just before we move on, you must be an excellent dancer
I wouldn't say excellent
then.
dancer.
Oh well,
Well, sometimes I did kind of try dancing, but it's not really like my type of thing. So
yeah, I'm behind you on that one. I can I can play music and I can keep time, but if somebody asks me to dance, I just can nope. But okay, so you kind of go from that rhythm section, what happened then? Like, was there a jump to, I don't know, like playing new musical instruments, or was there something else that kind of happened in between?
Well, at the time when I was in my teenage years and when I was in the tech, I got a call from Willie. He was the head of the tech in Derry at the time. And then he asked me to go down to Denmark with the
Oh,
Danish family. And then with a group in Denmark, somewhere near outside Copenhagen, with all the Danish music students.
that sounds cool.
Yeah, with the because actually got involved and representative for Derry and the rest of Ireland or so. So
That's really cool, man. I had no idea that you done that. That's really cool.
uh, yeah, it was in 2007, and then I got to play the tambourine and work with all the Danish students. Like they play some great cover songs.
Nice. That must have been really, really cool.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But so what? Um, because I know that you've always been involved in music, I know you've done so much throughout your career. As a
Mm-hmm.
musician. So kind of what happened after the tech? What happened? Because like now that I know that you went to the tech,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you from Acoustronic, what happened in between? What were the cool things you were doing in between those things?
Well, at the time when I was finished doing the tech, that was just come to my last year. Unfortunately, the fountains didn't have my support because I have sometimes trouble with sometimes my spellings and my learning difficulties because they don't have much funding to support me.
Hmm.
So after the tech, then I started to on work placements.
So like you're kind of going out there and living it.
Yeah,
Very nice. So like was that music based stuff that you were going out on placements?
sort of because it was started with something special, and then I think my mom got me into that.
Yeah, I remember something special. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So between the tech and then so it was tech something special and then kind of
Yes.
Acoustronic. Ah, okay. No, there was just that little piece of the jigsaw in the middle that I wasn't
Oh,
fully
right.
aware of.
Yes.
Yeah, just because we're trying to get to know you in this section, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just me, kind of trying to piece together everything as best I can.
Yes.
I mean, so like speaking about everything that you've done there, um, and yet we still haven't even touched on Acoustronic. Like you've done a lot before any of the Acoustronic stuff, and
Yes.
you've done even more since with Acoustronic, and it's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which we can save for later to chat
Yeah.
about. But out of everything that you've done musically, what what sticks out in your mind as the best thing that you've done?
I think the best thing is also we did do like a couple of gigs with something special when we were doing with the group when it was founded by Denise White. And
Very cool.
then we had few other music tutors who came and then went to the music workshop.
Oh, cool. So was that
Mm-hmm.
where were those gigs with something special?
It was around across Ireland and then up in Belfast, Derry, and parts of near the northwest, and then
That's cool.
yep.
Yeah, no, I think I joined Acoustronic and something special was yeah, it was still going at the time, which was really good because I remember going out to see you guys at something special because it was the first time I met you all outside of Acoustronic and it was great.
And then yeah, because when we did with something special, we did Indonesian music style.
Mm. Oh, the gamelan.
The gamelan, yes.
Yeah, that stuff was cool. I was very, very, you know, it was such a great experience. Like to sit down and watch you guys, excuse me, to watch you guys live improvise on gamelan music and just the sounds you were creating was just absolutely amazing.
Oh, it was outstanding.
Yeah. Um. So I have another question here.
Yep.
How many instruments can you play?
A few.
Do you mind listing them out there for us?
Yeah, well, I did the xylophone when I was doing the Indonesia music.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And also the djembe's, which was actually kind of my favorite one. So, because when you do the rhythm, because I always love doing the rhythm when it comes to the djembe's.
Yeah, good beat.
And then also the tambourine.
Yeah. What about
And
what about your acoustronic instruments? Can you list out them? Because I mentioned it in Jay's podcast as well about, you know, so I've asked the question, how many instruments can you play? And a lot of people will think, oh,
yeah,
guitar, bass, drums, piano, saxophone.
yeah,
But then like Jay was like iPad, MacBook, and suddenly, just not instruments people normally think about. So what's all the instruments you played with Acoustronic?
the Farm Jam.
Oh yeah, Thumb Jam app. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that got me started to do that. And then I started playing off with the buttons first to see what it sounded like before we even started.
Yeah, it's such a good app. If anyone who's interested in electroacoustic compositions or just experimenting at all, if you can on an iPad or phone, download Thumb Jam. It's so
Mm-hmm.
good, so good. But
Yeah.
what other instruments have you used? Because I know I think you've tried them all so far that we've done with
Mm-hmm.
Acoustronic, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
ones that are really really cool.
And then the leap motion as well.
Yeah, Leap Motion.
That was the first time I ever did that with the leap motion.
Yeah, that was for
I think it was the jazz festival at the time.
Jazz Fest in 2018. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you guys end up playing with a jazz quartet
Yes, that's it.
with live electronics. Yeah, it was really really cool.
Yeah, it
Um,
was great.
yeah.
Well, my name is John Lynch, and I'm a member of this Acoustronic group.
What's the most recent kind of new tech instrument you're using?
Um, well, I suppose the latest new one is doing with now with being with 2021's been isolated, like with working on the computers and then with music on it. I don't know what you call that, Ryan.
Uh,
It's your stuff.
oh my apps that I'm using.
Yes, that's the latest one. I'm actually looking was forward to do that, so it was great.
So we can't say too much, I don't think,
No,
because the piece hasn't been put out there yet, so we can't talk about the nuts and bolts of it.
no, that's for the future.
Yeah, but maybe in part two we can talk about it a bit more. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we're still working away during lockdown, which is fantastic. I
Mm-hmm.
have to say, Zoom has been a lifesaver, so that we can actually meet, discuss ideas, and
Yeah.
put together pieces. And yeah, the program I'm using is Cubase.
All right.
Yeah, Um, but yeah, I've maybe one or two more plans for stuff that we can do,
Uh,
which would be cool. Um, I'm just trying to think, John. I think. Uh, See, this is the issue too, because you're so easygoing and so easy to chat to.
yeah.
I think we've kind of answered all the questions already without actually asking the questions first. But
Yes.
the one of the last ones I was going to ask was who musically inspires you, and of course you've
Uh,
mentioned like U2 there, Scooter. Who else did you mention? Eiffel,
Eiffel 65.
65. I was about to call him 67 for some reason. 67.
Oh, and my dad as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. You
He's
know,
also a musician as well, so
yeah, I mean, well, by the sounds of things, it was himself playing in the pipe bands that kind of
yeah, and
piqued your
then
interest.
yeah.
But yeah, I suppose because we've flown through it and we're trying to get to know you a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I suppose how has how has COVID affected everything that you were doing?
Um, bit strange to be honest, Ryan. At the very beginning,
Hmm.
was a bit scared, and you don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember I was flying home from England just before everything locked down, and I had no idea what was happening. Didn't know if I would have to like, or if I was even allowed into the country.
Why? That was another issue that because because Ireland and Britain are just neighbors.
Mm. But I mean, how has your, yeah, well, I mean, we're a year into it now.
Yeah.
Never thought it would last this long, but how have you coped with it?
Not too bad anyway, because the first half of it was just not so good, but then near the halfway was actually kind of not bad, to be
Yeah,
fair.
I suppose like where you live too, you have a bit of kind of country field next to you. You can kind of
Yeah.
get out and about. And it's been all right.
Yes.
But I suppose from that, you being a musician, do you have any ideas of any music you want to compose now after being in lockdown? Maybe you've thought of an idea or two.
I may have a few ideas, something like that. So at the minute, today's artists have been nothing doing but concerts at the minute, but then they've been doing performances on like with streaming service, like with Zoom and Skype or so.
Yeah. So are you thinking of maybe putting together a piece or two like that?
Aye, something like what they have been doing. So like new materials, like something like an idea that we can work out or so.
Cool. Well, I look forward to hearing about your ideas and
Yeah.
putting them into place. I think it's working with you guys, any idea, no matter how big or small, like it's just fantastic. And then if it is a big idea, if somebody hits a roadblock, one of you guys just step in and help each other out and be like, oh, what if we do it this way? That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything that we should know about you that we didn't really cover yet?
Um. Well, I think that you know about me a bit now because and at the very beginning, not many people don't know who I was.
Hmm.
So but my music background or so.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're kind of using these podcasts to get to know you a bit and get to
Yeah.
you know get to know the musicians in Acoustronic, which is pretty cool. Actually, hang on, I've just thought of something.
Oh, what is it?
You're a bit of a prankster.
Oh yes.
Would you like to? Would you like to tell everyone what you did on April Fools?
Oh yes, this was in the other group chat. This is from the conductology one.
Yeah.
No, what it was because I actually pranked everybody. Thought that I'm leaving conductology because I got part in a big Hollywood movie.
And you had everybody thinking, "Oh God, good on you, John."
They were all full for it, especially for Rachel Smith.
Yeah.
She was just oh, and then she never gets pranked on April Fool's until she realized what date it was, and she was
And you got them.
laughing. Yes, everyone.
Oh, it was a good one though. It was good.
It was the best one so far.
It was. I should just say just quickly, like conductology is a new form of gesturing for improvisation that Denise White, or sorry, Dr. Denise White,
Yes.
give her full title, uh, created, and it's absolutely fantastic. I've seen it in action just a handful of times, but every time it's just fantastic, and the sounds that get created are out of this world. So yeah, when you're saying I'm leaving, I'm sure it's a massive shock to all of them.
and then and then they realize that even though they're not really slow learners, but then when they find out what date it is, and then you were saying, "Oh,
You got them.
yeah, got him."
Got them good. Well, I can't think of any more questions off the top of my head at this minute in time, John. Like I said, well, chat to all you guys. It can so easily go from, let's say it's meant to be 5 minutes to 55 minutes.
Yeah.
And then other times, you like for this, for instance, I had set questions. We kind of answered them all without asking the questions, so it's become very kind of just general chit chat.
Yes.
But yeah, John, thank you very much for coming on,
No problem, Ryan.
and for taking the time to have a chat with us. I look forward to having you back on for the podcast, part 2 with yourself.
Yep.
To get to know more about Acoustronic. I think like we still chatted about it a lot without talking about Acoustronic, which is kind of there's a lot of stuff that we've done in Acoustronic that will probably take up a lot of time. So yeah, it's been good. So yeah, thank you very much once again, and thank you to everybody watching this or listening in. Yeah, thank you very much. Bye, John.
Bye.